Hi students, good morning to you all. This is Radhakrishna. In previous classes, according to the S block elements, we are discussing about the introduction of S block elements and physical properties of alkali metals and chemical properties of alkali metals we are discussing in previous videos. Now coming to this video, we are discussing about the anomalous properties of lithium and second one is diagonal relationship between lithium and magnesium, and the last one is okay. So we are in this video, the contents are anomalous properties of lithium, why lithium shows some anomalous behavior when compared with the remaining alkali metals, and the second one is so diagonal relationship between lithium and magnesium. What is diagonal relationship, why it is exist between lithium and magnesium? So we are discussed in this video, and third one, last one is biological importance of sodium and potassium. Biological, how it is important, so either sodium or potassium, okay, according to the biological system, all these three concepts are discussed in this video. Now coming to the our topic, anomalous properties of lithium. Okay, so anomalous properties of lithium. So according to the periodic table, in every group elements, the first element of every group shows some anomalous behavior when compared with their respective group elements. So we are observing the physical and chemical properties of alkali metals. Okay, where alkali metals are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. So when compared with the remaining alkali metals, lithium shows some anomalous behavior. Either of the physical properties or chemical properties. So now coming to the anomalous properties of lithium, the first one is lithium is much harder metal when compared with remaining alkali metals, and also having high melting point and boiling point, as we mentioned in physical properties like softness of alkali metals. So when we compare with the softness of alkali metals, the softness increases from lithium to cesium. Lithium is much harder metal, cesium is much soft metal. So and also discussed the melting points and boiling points of alkali metals. So on moving down the group from lithium to cesium, the melting point and boiling point orders are decreases. So that's why lithium has high melting and boiling points when compared with the remaining alkali metals. And second point is lithium is less reactive when compared with other alkali metals. Lithium is less reactive when compared with other alkali metals, and it is strong reducing agent. When compared with other alkali metals in aqueous solutions. Not only other alkali metals, in compared with every element, lithium is the strong reducing agent in aqueous solutions. Okay, so lithium is less reactive and it is a strong reducing agent when compared with the remaining alkali metals. And the third point is, when lithium reacts with air, when lithium reacts with air, so they are forming, it form both oxides and nitrites. It forms both oxides as well as nitrates. On coming to the oxides, so lithium forms normal oxides only. So lithium forms normal oxides only, but remaining alkali metals form okay, so remaining alkali metals form peroxides and superoxides, but lithium forms only normal oxides. But remaining alkali metals does not form nitrites. Remaining alkali metals does not form nitrates. They are only forming oxides when reacted with air. Okay, so lithium reacted with air, it forms both oxides as well as nitrates. But remaining alkali metals forms only oxides. Okay, so actually lithium when reacted with air, it forms both oxides as well as nitrates. When coming to the remaining alkali metals, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, they are forming only oxides. They are forming only oxides when reacted with air. Okay, now coming to the oxides. Lithium can form only normal oxides. But when case of remaining other alkali metals, they are forming so peroxides and superoxides. But lithium does not form peroxides and superoxides. They are always form normal oxide or monoxides. The chemical formulas for oxides and nitrates of lithium is Li2O and Li3N. This is the lithium oxide and this is the lithium nitrate. This is the lithium nitrate chemical formulas. Coming to the next point, LiHCO3, it is called lithium bicarbonate or lithium hydrogen carbonate. Lithium bicarbonate or lithium hydrogen carbonate. It does not exist solid state. Okay, so lithium hydrogen carbonate does not exist in solid form, but remaining alkali metals, either sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, all are formed solid hydrogen carbonates, but lithium does not form solid hydrogen carbonate. It's always existed in a liquid state. Now coming to the next point, in case of anomalous behavior of lithium, next point is LiCl, lithium chloride. Lithium chloride is deliquescent in nature. LiCl is deliquescent in nature. That means the substance which is melt or Okay, the substance which melt or undergo liquefaction. Okay, and that means it can be converted into liquid state. It can be converted into liquid state under normal temperature and pressure. If you are taking a watch glass and add some LiCl liquid, LiCl and put it on the table, then it is readily undergo melting. It is readily undergo melting. So that's why it is called deliquescent compound. That's why for the stability purpose, LiCl is exist as its hydrate form. LiCl is exist as its hydrated form due to the stability purpose, that is LiCl 2H2O. LiCl 2H2O. Whereas coming to the remaining alkali metals, they does not form hydrates. Remaining alkali metals does not form hydrates. As we compare that we are taking NaCl, KCl or RbCl or CSCl. Whatever it may be, you are taking the chlorides of the remaining alkali metals. So we are already commonly known that NaCl is the common salt or table salt. We are daily using in cooking purpose. So this NaCl, when we are taking this NaCl and add to the water, then the NaCl is readily soluble. Remaining chlorides of the alkali metals also readily soluble in water. But in case of lithium, it is not soluble. It is undergo its hydrated form and converted as solid. Because of the stability purpose. Okay, now coming to the next point, lithium nitrates. Lithium nitrate undergo decomposition and form oxides. But okay, so when we are taking lithium nitrate, so they are undergo decomposition. It is undergo decomposition and form its oxides. But when case of remaining alkali metal nitrates, they are forming metal nitrites. Suppose I am taking an example, we are taking LiNO3, so which is undergo decomposition. Suppose we are taking 4 molecules, so it form 2 molecules of Li2O, which is lithium oxide, and 4 molecules of NO2, okay, and also it forms O2. So this is the general reaction in case of lithium nitrate, which can undergo decomposition. Okay, 4 molecules of LiNO3 undergo decomposition. It forms lithium oxide and NO2 plus O2. But whereas we are taking remaining lithium NaNO3, we are taking lithium nitrate which is undergo decomposition. It forms two molecules of NaNO2 plus it forms only one molecule of O2. So this is sodium nitrite. This is lithium nitrate. This is sodium nitrite. We are taking the differences. Okay, I am writing the 3 examples. here nitride, which is nitride form, and nitrate, this is NO3 minus, and nitrite, I am writing the nitrogen compounds 3, which is NO2 minus. These are the three. So first one is nitrate. We are writing that when lithium reacted with air, it forms both oxides as well as nitrites. So the form of nitrate is N minus 3. Whereas compared with nitrates, it is NO3 minus. And in case of nitrites, it forms NO2 minus. These are the three forms of nitrogen we are discussing in this concept. The last one I am writing it here, which is seventh one. Okay, so Li2CO3, thermally unstable. Okay, that is the seventh one I am writing it here. So Li2CO3, lithium carbonate, is thermally highly unstable. It is readily undergo cleavage and form lithium oxide as well as carbon dioxide, whereas we are comparing the remaining alkali metals. So either Na2CO3 or K2CO3 or Rb2CO3 or and the last one is CS2CO3. When we are taking all these carbonates of alkali metals, these are highly stable compounds. But in case of lithium carbonate, it is highly unstable, thermally highly unstable. That's why it is easily undergo decomposition and form lithium oxide as well as carbon dioxide. These are the anomalous behaviors of lithium we are discussed in this concept. Now coming to the next topic, diagonal relationship between lithium and magnesium. So before we are going to the concept, so what is the diagonal relationship? Why it is exist between the molecules? We are discussing that. So diagonal relationship, the relationship between so the relationship between first element of a group with second element of the next group is called diagonal relationship. I am taking the some groups. This is first, second, third and fourth groups. So first group is lithium. I am taking lithium and sodium. In second group is so beryllium and magnesium. In third group, boron and aluminium, and in fourth group, carbon and silicon. So the relationship between the first element of a first group with the second element of the next group. So the relationship, it is diagonal relationship. In case of beryllium, it is diagonally related with aluminium. In case of boron, it is diagonally related with silicon. This diagonal relationship is exist up to fourth group only. But remaining are not form this diagonal relationship due to its their size. So this is the diagonal relationship. Now coming to the what are the reasons to exist diagonal relationship? Reasons. The first one is similar sizes, and the second one is okay. So there are three reasons which are takes place according to the diagonal relationship. The first one is the atoms which are participated in the diagonal relationship are having similar sizes, similar polarizing power, and similar electronegative difference. Due to the all these reasons, so the atoms participated in the diagonal relationships. Diagonal relationships. So now coming to the what are the what are the properties according to the diagonal relationship exists between the lithium and magnesium. That means the similarities which are takes place between lithium and magnesium due to the diagonal relationship are the first point. The first similarity is both lithium and magnesium are harder and lighter metals. With high melting points and boiling points. Both the lithium and magnesium are has harder metals as well as lighter metals with high melting point and boiling points. So next point is these are less reactive with a these are less reactive with air and water. Air and water. Now coming to the third point, these are forming nitrides, that is Li3N and Mg3N2. This is lithium nitride and that one is magnesium nitride. So with direct combination of nitrogen, with direct combination of nitrogen, they are forming nitrates, either lithium nitrate or magnesium nitrate. And the next point is the oxides and hydroxides of both elements the oxides as well as nitrates of both elements are not soluble in water. So and the next point is, so when reacted with water, when reacted with air, they are forming monoxides only. That means normal oxides. That means normal oxides. That is Li2O and MgO. When reacted with water, they are always forming monoxides, which are normal oxides having the formulas Li2O, lithium oxide, as well as MgO. They are not forming superoxides as well as peroxides. And the next point is both are not forming solid hydrogen carbonates. That is LiHCO3 and MgHCO3. MgHCO3 twice. This is lithium hydrogen carbonate. This is magnesium hydrogen carbonate. Both are not in solid state. Always existed as a lithium state. Always existed as a liquid state. So and the next point is the carbonates of both elements, that is Li2CO3 and MgCO3, both elements Li2CO3 and Mg2CO3 both are thermally not stable, both are thermally unstable or not stable, so they are always undergo decomposition, okay. So and the most important point, so in this diagonal relationship, they are both LiCl and MgCl2, lithium chloride and magnesium chloride are deliquescent in nature. Both LiCl and MgCl2 are deliquescent in nature and exist as hydrates. They are exist as its hydrates. So like LiCl is exist as LiCl2H2O and MgCl2 is exist as 6H2O. These are the hydrated forms of lithium chloride as well as magnesium chloride. First one is LiCl2H2O, second one is MgCl2 6H2O. MgCl2 6H2O. They are always existed as its hydrated form, not in pure form, so these are the diagonal relationship between lithium and magnesium. Now coming to the last topic in this video, that is biological importance of sodium and potassium. So we already know that sodium and potassium are highly important for our biological systems, that means animal biological system. So what that is the biological importance takes place with sodium and potassium. Now we are taking sodium, that is Na plus ions. We are taking sodium ion. So Na is always existed in Na plus state, not in pure state, because it is highly reactive. That's why it is always existed as Na plus ion. That is further thing. So now coming to the biological importance of sodium, the first point is it can participated in the transmission of nerve signals. So we are already know that nerve signal of CNS, that is central nervous system. So it is participated in the transmission of nerve signal. So from one place to another place, it is helpful. It is also useful in regulating the flow of water across the cell membrane. So the water flow can be regulated across the cell membrane by using sodium. And next point is both Na plus and K plus are differ both Na plus and K plus are differ quantitatively. So when cell penetration and transport mechanism, cell penetration and transport mechanism, as well as both are quantitatively different. Both are quantitatively different in case of cell penetration as well as transport mechanism and as well as activate enzymes. As well as activate enzymes. So these are the biological importance of sodium. Now coming to the biological importance of potassium. Now coming to the biological importance of potassium. The first one is it can activate many biological enzymes. It can activate many biological enzymes. And second point, it can oxidize glucose to ATP, adenose triphosphate, which is the form of energy. Okay, it can be oxidized the glucose into adenose triphosphate. And third point is both potassium and Na plus sodium, both potassium and Na plus ions both K plus and Na plus ions are varying or difference in their concentrations. In case opposite sides across the cell membranes. They are takes place in opposite directions with different concentrations. They are takes place opposite directions in cell membrane with different concentrations. These are the biological importances of sodium and potassium. In this video we are discussing anomalous properties of lithium, diagonal relationship between lithium and magnesium, and reasons and their similarities, and also the biological importance of sodium and potassium are discussing this video. Thank you to everyone.